Okay, part two. We're going to talk about chlorination. And why do I talk about chlorination if it's not very effective? First of all, to mention that it's not as effective, but there is benefits to it. We saw that it still kind of decreased some bacteria and virus in the water, but it's mostly for the second point, and I want to talk about it. We saw that in water treatment, it's not just about kind of like, filtering your water, whatever methods you're going to use. There's different ones, but whatever methods you're using for your water, if you're expecting it to keep for a longer period of time, chlorination is the way to go. That's one of the big benefits of it, is this residual protection against recontamination. So if, for example, I've filtered my water, killed out the stuff that chlorination do not kill, but if I put the proper amount of chlorine inside, now my water is protected. And so then it becomes in that storage phase that is very important about chlorination. And this is what I want to talk about it, because we hear a lot on YouTube about that phase of filtering your water and carrying your water and boiling your water and all other ways of thousands of ways of doing this, but not many people talks about that storage phase. And yet it's very important, because especially if you have like a big group, or if you're in an urban environment, or any environment, but it's mostly in an urban environment, and there's riots outside and stuff. And so if you went and grabbed some water out of whatever and you bring that back, every time you're trying to go out, it's a danger. So basically you'll try to gather as much water as you can, so that you don't have to go all the time. Like, it's not like a daily time that you're going to go and draw your water. So therefore, storage becomes very important. And this is where chlorination becomes. It's easy to use as well, and as an improvise, like there's a lot of people, well, most households. So if you're on the move, it would be easy to, so let's say your filter, you lost some of your gear, you got stolen, or whatever reason. Chlorination as well is it's a quick formula. You just need to retain that. And you go in any household, and you probably can find some bleach of some sort, or even if you're at 7-Eleven, you'll be able to grab a bottle of bleach. So that's why on the move and as an improvisation, chlorination can be good. Again, remember about it has a low protection against proterozoa. Disinfection effectiveness is lower in turbid water, and we'll talk a little bit about that, and the taste and long-term effects. But it is a good, I would say maybe a good storage for sure, but it also as a good improvise. So have that in your mind for that. And it has proven to reduce diarrheal disease incidence, but again, there's some stuff that survive. And is that recipe. So add 1/8 of a teaspoon or 8 drops of regular unscented liquid household bleach for each gallon of water. Stir it well, let it stand for about 30 minutes before you use it. Store disinfected water in clean container with covers. And this is the reason I was telling you about the covers, is that anything can fall into it or get contaminated. Also, the bleach can kind of escape a little bit, and my understanding is that bleach staying, so that stuff, it kind of adds it up to that capacity. And so that's why you want a good clean container. This is another recipe that I found on the CDC website, and basically with the resurgence of Ebola and other disease, they have changed a lot of their stuff. Ebola was resistant to a lot of the product that we have. I know in the hospital we have changed some of the cleaning products that we use now on like our machines and stuff, just because of the Ebola scare. And the reason was that it required stronger solution to kill it. So this is the how to make a solution. So you got the 1.25, 2.6, 3.25, and I'll put the link down where I found this, because actually I printed this and it's in my preparation kits now, because it's such a well see, like, it's so well done, it's so like clear and stuff, and it's made for that. And this is not for so much for water, but disinfecting surface and stuff. And again, in the water treatment, stop thinking about, hopefully this video will make you stop thinking that it's only about water treatment. Your buckets that you're using, so let's say you found a bucket or whatever, now you need to clean and disinfect that bucket. Well, if there was water that was contaminated by whatever, you need to clean that. So that's why solutions like this are important. The surface that you're using, so you're preparing your food or things, there's bacteria and virus and protozoa and all that could survive on that surface. Now you go and you put your glass of water or your food inside that plate or something, that can contaminate you as well. So that's why it's important to have clean surface and stuff, and so that's why I put it in here. And don't forget that Cryptosporidium is not killed by, or not effectively killed by chlorine or iodine. So that's the one that's why diarrhea, chlorination is not very good for diarrhea, because crypto is one of the higher cause. In chlorination do not kill it. So if you don't suspect crypto to be there, then good. Then you can use like chlorination alone, and this is why a lot of time when we go hiking and stuff, because I think Cryptosporidium survive in some part, not so much in other, and so that's why, just if you're going hiking for the weekend, crypto is not such a big thing on your map, but in developing country and things, it is big on their map. And I think in the disaster too, with like water coming, either like here would be coming from the sea and stuff, you would see all kind of stuff in the water, and so then I would try to clean as much as possible. So filtration would be my first way to go. Now, if you suspect crypto be high, then for example, outbreak, poor sanitation, lack of water treatment system. So again, if the grid goes down, switch to either drink bottled water, eating, so boiling the water can work for about for a minute. Use the filter and with all the standards and stuff. So crypto can be killed. And again, if you watch that course on Coursera, what they were recommending is that you miss and match. And so it's not just about I'm going to filter my water. Maybe because there's not one technique that kills everything. Like even boiling water, there's some stuff that kind of survive. Boiling water is one of the best. But then it has also its drawback, because you need the fuels and things like that, and but there's not one thing that kills everything. Some will survive better or survive some techniques, and so if you mismatch some of them, so for example, if crypto is well filtered, so now if I filter my water then chlorine it, so whatever filtration doesn't kill very well, but chlorination kill, that will be taken care of, and the things that chlorination do not kill very well but filter does, then will be covered with this, and then you're left with stuff. So you miss and match some of the techniques, and so that's why it's important to understand all the different techniques there is out there. And to finish, we'll talk a little bit about field tests and why field tests. And again, if you're on the move, or now your water source, like we were talking about during floods or a tsunami, or and those are more in my mind, because now that I live near water, but water can contaminate a lot of, so even like so let's say you have a lake in the middle of a park in your city. Good water, right? Yeah, but if the ocean or the everything comes and hits that, now that water becomes contaminated with all the other crap that usually you're trying to stay away of. And so now that let's say you're on the move, or you're having to take care of group, how can you test quickly the water that you have around you and see? And I'll refer you to the document for a little bit more of the techniques and stuff. But some of the ideas that are now a part of my kits, and that they're not very expensive at all. So a pool tester, it's very easy. It's easy to do, cheap to buy, and assure mostly the quality of the long storage water. And this is from the CDC, and it's basically at 30 minutes with the addition of a product that you have in your pool. If you have those levels, that's what they should be at. And so by knowing the pH of your and with your pool kit and stuff, and again, I'll refer you to the document to explain it very well. But if you just do the quick test of your pool kit, then you're allowed. So it's a quick test. It's very small. It's very compact. It's very easy to do. You can buy that pretty much anywhere. So I would put that in any kits. And actually now it is part of my kit, including my bug out bag. The other quick test that you can do, turbidity, because a lot of the things that like chlorination, UV lights are affected by that one. And so basically what it is, it's a characteristic of the water. So the water looks like, and it's not just like, oh, I look my water and there's like little filament in it, but there's certain levels of it that it's important to understand. And the test that you do is basically with a special kind of fill jar a little bit, and some of them are like very high, like they're almost like 3 feet high. But basically what you do is you put water in it, and you look at that little circle over here until you don't see it at all. And when you don't see it, then you read the numbers here. So that's why you need a special tube. It's not just like, oh, you put it in any tubes, but you look at this, and that numbers tells you what's the turbidity, what's the number of it. And then once you read that, then it tells you if this process can be good, if the water is good for other stuff, if you need, and this would be important. Let's say you have, again, in situation of disaster, if you have landslide or something, so then fell again in that lake, it could increase the turbidity of your water. And so now the water could be pretty good, but the techniques that you would use, so let's say chlorination, that was your way of going, or UV light that you were going to use, because now there's a lot of sand in that water, it could affect the turbidity and also affects your system. So then now maybe using a filtration prior, or even using what they call like 3 different jars. So what you're doing is letting the water settle, and so you put your dirty water in one jar, and then you decrease it, you put them in the second jar, trying to hold off all the sediments in the first jar, and then you go in the third jar, and it's the third jar that you do your treatment. So that's one thing, that turbidity, one techniques that from your turbidity testing you can use. And just to finish this one, it is the sorry about that. Quick test that you can buy. They're 17 bucks, and you can they have everything inside, and you can test for bacteria, lead, pesticides and stuff. And especially like if you leave you stay near farms, that could affect your water. So you know, a quick test, you have this in your bug out bag, and they're only like 17 bucks. So I'm considering those. I didn't buy them yet, but they're on my list to purchase. Anyway, that was my quick video. I hope you like it, and I'll talk to you soon.